Ever since Trump won the election, every undocumented or illegal immigrants in this country is potentially getting deported. Not only them, but we've seen college students across the country, like, Ivy League schools, and many of these pro Palestinian students are also getting deported, because they're being seen as a domestic threat under Trump's administration. Then we also seen a lot of mistaken arrests. Folks were put into court and they couldn't really defend themselves because they're at their most vulnerable situations. There's people who just want to see them poof gone, just gone, get out of this country. Who definitely just makes it harder around the Constitution, because these folks have rights, but they're saying, oh no, they're legal. The Constitution, the Bill of Rights doesn't apply to them, so therefore they can't, they shouldn't be defending themselves. I don't know, just make life difficult. You know what I mean? Okay, so we know a lot of these folks who are undocumented in the United States, right? Most of them are Latinos. They come from Latin America, which is right under the United States, you know what I mean? Whole different world, Spanish speaking world. And a lot of them escaped, displacement, corruption, violence, etc. You name it. Any reasons that you would definitely just leave, become refugees. It's not always Latinos, there's Chinese folks, there's African folks at the border after escaping their home countries. I mean, for the Africans, it's understandable, corruption. For the Chinese, I mean, I guess the Winnie the Pooh scares them, or the fucking Gakao exams they take, whatever. A piece of paper they call a test that determines what you're gonna be for the rest of your life. So, because all of these people are coming in 2023 alone, according to USCIS, which is United States Citizen and Immigration Services, 11 million applicants were sent in, which is requests, for citizenship potentially, and just to be able to live in the U.S. each day. And average, I mean average. So to this day, about 28, more than 28,000 applications were sent in, when there's like fucking 20,000 workers only working at USCIS. So I mean, this should give away. The attempt to become a U.S. citizen is going to take forever. It's going to take decades for many of them. Many of them are still waiting. They've been here longer than my age. So now we know there's catastrophe going on in the southern border. But you know what I like to do? Contextualize things. Now, this is crazy, right? We live in the future. Everything should be better than 50, 60, 70 years ago. But no, we actually have seen way more extreme displacement that since World War II, like at least World War II. It's not only third world countries, but us Americans in the first world country, we're suffering as well. We are suffering displacement in our own nation. We cannot solve problems because we're also partitioned into two political parties, the major, the elite ones. They are also always in altercations and I mean, shit they just disagree with every day. Now, let's be real. There are no solutions. The two major political parties are so different. Not two polar opposite, but they are so different, dude. We'll never agree. I think that's the simple answer I can give. There is no agreement, okay? It's either one of them or something else. I mean, something else. Damn, are we just too moderate? Maybe that's why we don't see changes. I mean, who knows? All right, here's my take. Let me just throw my 2 cents in. It may sound cheap. I mean, 2 cents, right? We make the path to citizenship shorter. We shorten it. We promote. We ask for many immigrants who have manual labor skills, and this is why we want manual labor skill immigrants. A lot of them. I mean, a lot of them. Now, here's why. There are many unwanted jobs that native born Americans don't want to work with. So, what they do is, you know, have a demand for illegal immigrants to come in. And when they come in, they're like motivated, they're willing to work in any fucking wage. So, usually they exploit them a very, very low minimum wage just so they can send money back to their country. So, that's form of exploitation. It's just gonna force an influx of just illegals. So, we don't want that, right? What do we want? We want legal immigrants coming in, so we should demand legal immigration. We just have to fix the process where people just run across the border, and that's why they're legal. They don't have a proper check-in into the country, so we know who they are. We show that we are big fans of immigration, legal immigration. Many of these folks down in the southern border will then realize, hey, they're a big fan of legal immigration. So I mean, I guess I shouldn't be a bitch and just wait in line to, process properly. And I guess, work in these agriculture, these unwanted jobs because of my manual labor skills. Uh, we are wanted, we feel appreciated, we feel loved, and we feel welcome in this country, in the United States. And this way, we'll actually have a new wave of legal immigration, because I mean, immigration is just never going to stop. More people are coming in. This part, honestly, I said fuck it. But every immigrant that live in the United States for 5 years, working, paying taxes, and they're just living. They're living, leaving people alone. They don't have a criminal record for these last 5 years. I said fuck it, because just give them citizenship. Like, just straight give it to them. You see, us Americans, we commit way more crime. Okay, some of these people like to point out, oh yeah, I mean, you're undocumented. I think you're a criminal. I mean, just because you crossed the border, I think you're just a criminal. You're probably suspicious. I mean, fuck it, dude. There's a lot of Americans who terrorize this nation. There's evil people who have the papers. Who, I mean, they're just born here. Well, what to say, man? That's why I think we should give these people grant just a complete. As long as you live here for 5 years, contribute to our economy, all that, you'll be granted citizenship. Now, in our current situation, we stopped mass deportation. Now, here's the thing: it costs $88 billion, around that estimated per year, to start deporting at least a million, maybe a million and a half immigrants into from this country back to their place of origin. We stopped that. $88 billion is too much. It could be used on something better. Back in the 1960s, when the Soviet Union was about to send their first man into space, of course, we had the space race. And what did the United States do? They funded education. They invested in the minds of the American people. So why don't we do that again here in 2025? We invest in the American mind. We are a disaster. We are a mess. So why don't we just invest and use that $88 billion and just fix up these American people's mind? Now, here's these illegal immigrants who are in this country who probably have a criminal past record. Let's assume that there are some people out there who actually are criminals, man. I mean, not just because you crossed the border, but these people will be under the program since they've been working, contributing to the economy, living in this nation for 5 years, and they will go through that system. Why don't we just reverse psychology them and just make them confess their crimes? Maybe, I don't know, but we can invest in these people. These people are just human beings, just like Americans, just like anybody else. They will go through that program. We're gonna fix up everybody's minds. We're gonna invest in their minds. Hypothetically, for once, if the United States stopped being scared of Middle Eastern regimes, China, the fucking CCP, or Russia, maybe, we can actually turn our heads around and look at our neighbors, Latin America, and fix them, help them, assist them, give them a hand, because it's a disaster down there. It really is. As I said, contextualize things, right? What's causing the illegal immigration that's going on? Oh, I mean, displacement, violence, corruption, rape, murder, homicides, everything that's happening in these Latin American people's country of origin. It's very prevalent. It's shitty. I don't blame them. I understand why you guys crossed the border. Um, but we should definitely turn our heads. And I mean, I don't know why people hardly talk about this, but I think we should turn our fucking heads towards these governments and just look at what they're doing. I'm not sure why we're not seeing progress. Why are we not asking that? I think these are the important questions. I believe it is morally right. It is morally true. It is better to stop being paranoid and focus on ourselves too much because we're so wealthy. That's really it. We're just wealthy. There's nothing special about us Americans. We're just wealthy. But we can be better if we just lift these people up in our southern borders and break this cycle of violence and corruption, muddy footprints of Pablo Escobar, El Chapo, whatever, man. I mean, that's a story for another day, but I wonder what you guys think. Just let me know.